Welcome back to the CNC Auto Show. We are answering automotive questions, but we're also talking about smells and sounds. A sound that we get customers come in and complain about from time to time or have concerns about have to do with ticking noises.
Oh, yeah, ticking noise. Sometimes that can't be not necessarily repaired, but of course it can be kind of a bad noise to hear.
Well, I'm going to tell you a lot of times when this happens, we find low engine oil.
Right.
It's not uncommon at all to find that the oil was low.
Yep, just a quart low or so.
Yeah, and they'll have a ticking noise like that, and you say, well, when's the last time the oil's been changed? And they say, well, I'm not really sure. And you start checking, and it's been a long period of time. So when the oil's due to be changed, that can cause ticking noises. But sometimes everything can be okay.
I'm going to throw one more in for ticking noise.
Sure.
Exhaust noise.
Yeah,
Exhaust can a lot of times
just like
sound like
one.
lifters and stuff like that. So
It sure can, or a loose spark plug.
Oh,
can also
man,
make a
that
little
does
bit of
too,
a
yeah.
ticky type noise.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's
You
go
ready
over-
to go to the callers?
Yeah, let's go over to Greg.
Hello, Greg. Welcome to the CNC Auto Show, and what can we help you with this morning?
Good morning. I have a 93 Civic,
Yes.
and I actually have a gas smell inside my car when, if I'm driving and the windows are cracked or the sunroof is cracked, I mean, it smells like fuel.
Uh-huh.
I can't smell it outside, and if the windows are rolled up, I don't smell it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I can think of a few things. Number one, a gas can in the trunk.
That would do it.
No, Greg, any kind of check engine light or anything like that on?
No check engine light.
No check engine light. First initial thought was something in the emission system, maybe the vapor canister, allowing it to vent the entire time. Now, no doubt that one does have that. So I'm wondering if it could have a faulty vent on the emission system, because that vent is not actually monitored. So that's a possibility. Greg, when you pop the engine or the hood, do you ever smell it, say, more like stronger?
No.
So do you feel like it's more like towards the tank area, or hard to say?
The funny thing is, you don't really smell it outside the car.
Okay, so it's inside. That actually makes me think more oil. You know, a lot of times when you smell oil, it is like a petroleum smell, of course. It can
Yes.
be confused for fuel. You feel pretty confident it's definitely gasoline?
Well,
Or is there a possibility it could be oil?
It could be oil.
It could. The reason I asked that is because, of course, the exhaust is on the radiator side, the very most front part of the engine, and then, of course, it actually goes under the engine. So if that vehicle had even the slightest little bit of oil leak, it does drip straight on the exhaust. Most common thing that leaks on those, that leaks engine oil, would be the valve cover gasket.
Mm-hmm.
Those are very common to leak. Relatively simple job. What happens is they leak. They kind of go around both sides of the transmission and drip directly on the flex pipe of the exhaust. So that's kind of which way I'm leaning. Do you ever see any, not steam, but any smoke or anything like that after a period of driving for a while?
I had the exhaust checked,
Okay.
and they didn't find any exhaust leaks or didn't say anything out of the ordinary.
Okay, gotcha.
Greg, it really don't matter whether you have a full tank of gas or a low tank of gas. It still does it the same way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just have the entire vehicle inspected for any leaks on there. For instance, usually if oil's been leaking on the exhaust, you'll see some trail of it.
staining,
It'll be
yeah.
kind of caked up on it just a little bit. Look for that very closely, and also look very closely at the evap system.
Right, and that's a good tip, too, because, of course, if you're looking for an oil leak and it doesn't have it, then you're going to go to fuel.
Yeah, go ahead and move over to the evap system. And you could have like a vapor canister,
Right.
or there could be something, but usually a vapor canister would be worse just after you fill up with gas.
Or once it's sat for a period of time, too.
Yeah, or after it's set for a period of time. I think that's going to be one of those that it would probably be good for someone to put on a lift rack and just do
Inspect
a
the
very
engines.
good inspection for anything leaking, period, not only just looking for fuel, but anything at all, and looking at the evap system extra
Right.
close.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And
All right,
we
great.
thank you for the call. And the number to call, 706-863-5800. And are we ready to go to Bill?
Yeah, let's go over to Bill.
Hey, Bill, welcome to the show, and what can we help you with?
Well, I've got a 1999 Chevrolet two-door Tahoe. Only has 89,000 miles on it, but my alternator went out, and so I had the alternator changed, and then after we changed the alternator, I started getting my belt was squealing real bad, especially when it was cold. Well, mostly when it was cold, and you first crank it up. So I took it back in, and they changed the belt. I needed a new belt, so I put a new belt on it, and it still squeals. So I took it back, and they said, "Oh, okay, your belt tensioner is bad." So I put a new belt tensioner on it, and it still squeals. I just keep throwing parts at it. I don't know what to do to stop the squealing.
Bill, I do have a quick question. So evidently, did it have a belt squeal before the alternator?
No.
Okay, so after this alternator, this is just the thinking I'm going through. There's two options for that alternator. There's a 220, which is like the police package and the 2500 series and stuff like that, and then there's the 90 amp, which is most common. It's possible that you got the wrong alternator with the wrong diameter pulley on it. And then the tensioner is operating in the wrong zone, so to speak, because the belt is either now longer or either shorter. I would assume it's shorter, being that it's longer that it's squealing.
Longer.
Yeah, and then I'm going to throw one other small thing out there. Now, that's most likely because of the fact that it was...
He's going to say he's positive it's the right one, right?
No. No, what I was wondering, I just wanted to be sure we knew that model does have a second belt on there.
That one serpentine, 99.
Okay, that one
Single
does
belt.
not have the separate AC belt there.
No, that's 5.3.
Hey, Bill, disregard everything I just said on that part.
Well, I didn't want to let you tell him wrong information. That'd be
Well,
a 5.7.
I asked them about if maybe the alternator they put on there, the pulley was smaller or something, or was the wrong size. And they told me that they matched the I forgot what they said, but something like they matched the serial numbers, they matched the numbers for the alternator.
And Bill, that's very possible, but let me tell you what we've ran into before. A lot of those are remanufactured alternators, right? Well, they might have not. They might be the right alternator. It might be the right internal components, regulator, the whole 9 yards, but the pulley might not be right. But I will tell you one tip on that belt tensioner. If you look really, really close, there's 3 lines on it. There's 2 lines on the outside of the tensioner, and there's 1 line on the inside, and that's actually the operating range of the tensioner. And if that tensioner is in that operating range, typically that means you have the right tension on the belt is the right size, and the rest of the pulleys. And I mean, it is definitely possible that the alternator is causing the squeal noise. It may take more effort to turn that alternator for whatever reason. It may have a bearing that's a little bit tighter than normal. So I think the next step is seeing if that tensioner is in the right operating range, which again, it has those 3 little lines on. And then, kind of going from there.
But they may have got the right part number, but it may not necessarily be the right alternator.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. They said that the tensioner was right up against the stop, I think is what he said.
See, that right there tells me there's definitely something wrong with a diameter or a belt.
Yeah.
And now there is 2 different belts for that vehicle also because of that same issue, the alternator being a different diameter, the pulley. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll try one of those. See what they say.
All right, Bill. Give us a shout next week and let us know how it turns out.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, it does. Would you say in that? I think you hit dead on it there, John Ryan. You nailed it, man. Okay. The time clock's on E. We need to pull over for now, but we'll be back on the road in no time. I'm Aaron Clements with co-host John Ryan Mooney, and our show producers are Zach Llewellyn, Bo Roberts, Dominic Frito, and Sandy Klein. We'd all like to say thank you very much for riding with us on the CNC Auto Show.